Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Tier 9 British heavy tank, the Conqueror. So yeah, again, obviously first of all I'm just going to talk about it and stuff like that, just because I feel like this is probably one of the most underrated heavy tanks. You don't really see many of them around. Well, you have seen a few more of them since the Chieftain came out, so... But anyway, we'll take a quick look into the overview of the tank. So it was developed from 1949 through to 1952, and it was intended to confront the new Soviet heavy tanks, which would have been like the IS-3s and stuff like that, and the T-10 heavy tanks. A total of 185 were mass produced from 1955 through 1959. So it is quite a modern tank. To be honest, it is actually a really modern tank compared to like some of the other tanks which were like 1940s, World War II era, stuff like that. This is post-war, so anyway, yeah, I absolutely adore this tank, really. One thing, I think it looks fantastic. It just looks absolutely amazing. But anyways, we'll just take a quick look into the stats. So we can see here that it has 1,950 hit points, which is actually a very, very nice amount of hit points. It's a little bit more than the 75 and near the same as the ST1s as well. So you do get a very nice chunk of hit points. Does allow you to take a couple of hits in this. So we can see the max speed is 34 kilometers an hour. Isn't too fast, but the engine power is really nice actually, and this tank really doesn't feel sluggish at all. It does maneuver very well as also. So take a quick look into the engine, the Rolls-Royce Griffon engine. So as we said before, 950 horsepower with a power to weight ratio of 14.58 horsepower per ton, sorry. Top reverse speed 12 kilometers an hour. Yeah, again, it's not very fast. You're not going to be getting nowhere quickly, but you're not going to be driving around in reverse, are you? So it doesn't really matter. Fire chance 20%. I have found myself being set on fire quite a bit in this tank if you get shot in the arse. So obviously just be very careful about that. Take a nice like fire extinguisher with you, or have firefighting on your crew, the standard really. We're going to come onto the gun last because that is what makes this tank. So quite weirdly, you only have 4 crew members in this tank. 3 of them are situated in the hull, and obviously you have your driver, and 3 of them are situated in the turret, sorry, and then 1 also in the hull. Just be aware, the turret on this tank is really strong, frontally anyway, especially when you're using your gun depression and stuff like that, but we'll go into more of that in the armor viewer. But things, if you are hull down and you do get hit by a Death Star, I have had like a game before, I got hit by a Jagdpanzer 100, like just next to the gun mount there, and it killed my tank, 1 shot, because my crew members died. No idea how they killed all 4 crew members at once, but yeah, from full health to dead just because my crew died. So this is another thing that is really annoying about this tank. Yeah, I'm just going to give you a second just to look at it and see if you can find out why. And now I think you can see why. This tank is literally just a walking ammo rack. There is ammo racks everywhere in this thing. The most annoying one is through the front plate. It can get ammo racked through the front plate, so just be very careful about that. I have been ammo racked and one-shot quite a few times in this. As you can see, obviously there is one there. You can, if you go through the lower plate, it will damage it. If you go through the upper plate, it will damage it. Also, one in the side there, another one in the back there. It's quite hard to hit though, it's quite slim. And you've got 2 more there and 1 in the side of the turret. So if you do want to take out this tank quicker, make sure to hit his ammo rack because it's gun. The DPM on this tank is very nice, so damaging the ammo rack will cripple it really. So here's where the radio is. No need to worry about that really. Then we get to the turret. 34 degrees a second rotation speed, which is actually really nice. It does allow you to get that gun around with you when you use the track traverse as well. It does allow you to swing that gun around quite nice and fast, and does allow you to, does help out, sorry, if things like T-54s and stuff start circling you. So then we have the tracks, 26 degrees traverse on the tracks, not too bad, but if you do combine that with the 34 degrees of turret traverse, you can swing the turret around quite nice and fast, so there isn't really much to worry about there. And then we get on to the best thing about this tank, the 120mm gun, L1A1. It is just an absolutely fantastic gun. So you can see standard stats, 10.5 second reload, which is actually not bad at all really. 1.9 second aiming time, which is fantastic really for a gun of this size. The British tanks are renowned for their nice aiming times and quite nice accuracies as well. So we can also see elevation 15 degrees. Sorry about that. 15 degrees, yep, and depression 7 degrees. The depression on this tank isn't too bad, to be honest. It is workable. It is very workable, actually. Sorry about that. But obviously it is only 7 degrees, so it does limit where you can go hold down and stuff like that. But I haven't really found any issues with the gun at all. So we'll take a quick look into the armour. As you can see again, the biggest weak spot of this tank is the lower plate. And as the ammo rack is behind it, is so annoying. But obviously you got to live with it really. The more you play it, the more you'll get used to it. So first off, we have 120mm on the track guards, the bottom of the tank, and the engine deck. This tank is actually quite large, so being hit by artillery can cripple you, so just be very careful about that. Being hit in the sides and the back by artillery will most likely one-shot you. Next we have 21 to 30mm on the tracks. Then we have 31 to 50mm on the side of the tank and the top of the turret roof. The top of the turret roof is another weak spot as well. It can be overmatched by like really big guns, 152mm or more, 150mm or more. Sorry. So just be careful of that if you do come against something with a really big gun. But apart from that, it will just be an auto ricochet. The side armor on this tank is atrocious. If you're going to side scrape, obviously don't do it against anything with 150 or more millimeter gun, because they will just overmatch. But if you do, try and keep it at an angle like that really. Otherwise, if you angle even like that, it's just going to penetrate straight through. So next, 51 to 70mm on the sides and the back of the turret. Then we have 71 to 90mm on that horrendous lower plate and the sides of the turret there. Then we have 91 to 120mm on the cupola. 121mm to 160mm on these little side humps on the sides. They can be quite useful actually. Just be aware, if you are side scraping, they do start to flatten out, so just be careful about that. Also the front of the turret bits there. The upper plate on this tank is actually quite nice. You do bounce quite a lot. I do find this tank quite effective in face hugging, but obviously just don't face hug anything with crazy amounts of gun depression, because I'll just be able to shoot down on top of this tank, because it is quite tall. Next we have 161 to 190mm of armour on these small patches on the front of the turret. Then we have 191 to 230mm on these small parts of the turret here. And then we have 231, these bits are 254mm of armour, sorry. So yeah. Yeah, so what, basically, the armour on this tank, it's not great. It's to be honest, it does do the job. You should never really rely on your armour on this tank unless it's the turret. I can say I confidently rely on the turret of this tank. Obviously lower plates like butter, anything's going to go through it. Your ammo rack's there, so just be very careful, try and hide it at all costs. Angle a little bit, like that, I'd say that's probably the most effective angle for this tank. The turret is very bouncy, all kinds of funny shapes and angles. It is super hard to penetrate. Obviously the turret roof can be overmatched, and if you are slightly above it, it does make it really easy to penetrate, so just be aware of that. The cupola, however, you see it is quite flat on some parts, but once you start using that 7 degrees of gun depression, it does really make, as you can see, one second, as you can see, the top part of it is sloped, so once you do use your gun depression, that does become flush with the top of the turret roof, so it will just be an auto ricochet as well. The turret is also an auto ricochet. The cupola, sorry, the top of it. If you hit the flat parts on the side of it, it will penetrate, but keep moving forwards and backwards just to help reduce that. So we'll take a quick look more in depth into the gun. So as we can see, 259 penetration on your standard AP rounds, which is actually very, very nice. You get 1 more penetration than the 120mm gun on the M103, and you also get 2mm more penetration than the French 120mm gun, so you do get quite a nice penetration there. You're not really going to struggle anything with that. 400 alpha damage, which is actually very nice as well. As I said before, the rate of fire on this tank is actually really nice. My reload is about 8.6 seconds at the moment, so it is very fast firing indeed. Next we have the APCR rounds on this tank, which have 326 penetration, also 400 alpha damage. Yeah, 326 penetration is actually really, really good for APCR round, and it will allow you just to butter through most tanks. Next we have an interesting thing. Most higher tier British tanks do not carry high explosive. They carry high explosive squash head ammunition, which is also known as HESH, which have increased penetration at 120 and 515 alpha damage. So they are very, very useful if you come against something that's like a Leopard prototype or something like that. It will just allow you to get that damage off nice and quick, and because it is HESH, the penetration is actually quite high for a high explosive round. So I do like to carry a fair few of them. I only carry 2 or 3 because this tank, oh sorry, something I didn't mention about this tank is this tank I feel does run quite low on ammunition, so just be very careful on what like ammo loadout you pick and stuff like that. Accuracy 0.33, fantastic for a heavy tank. It is really, really nice. It does get better the further you go up as well, like the T15B and the Chieftain. So anyway guys, we'll take a quick look into the equipment as well. Large caliber tank gun round, obviously just to get your reload down. Vents obviously just helps out the tank incredibly. I would also take wet ammo rack class 2, but I am getting fairly close to the Chieftain now. I'm only 100,000 XP away, or I might go for the FV215B first, who knows. But I do want to save up my silver for that, so I won't be putting any more equipment on this. However, I will be keeping this obviously because I do want to get both tier 10 British heavy tanks. So yeah, obviously vents and a gun rammer just to get that reload down. I take the small first aid kit, small repair kit and a manual fire extinguisher, just because I'm a bit of a cheapskate. I don't like using premium consumables. However, it might be helpful to take a large repair kit in this. Also, my ammunition, I carry 22 AP rounds, 10 APCR rounds and 3 HESH rounds. I don't really need that many APCR rounds. I don't know why I carry so many. But you do find, I have found myself in countless games, and you'll see in the replays, I do run out of AP rounds and I do have to start using the APCR rounds, and it does mean that the profit from your games can be quite a little bit less, but the rounds aren't too expensive, to be honest, so it's not too bad at all. So anyway guys, I think that is enough for the garage review. I will be back again when we have some gameplay. Hello guys, so we are back for our first replay of the review. Sorry. As you can see, we are top tier. The map is Arctic region. The summer variant is a standard battle. There's only 2 tier 9s on each team, me being one of them. So this tank, I think you don't really hear anyone complain about it, but I do think that it is one of the least popular tier 9 heavy tanks, definitely, especially when it's got such fierce competition such as the E75 and the ST1 and stuff like that, which are widely renowned as the best tier 9 heavy tanks. I'm not saying they're not, but I am saying that I do think this tank has a absolutely fantastic gun. I'm going to say probably the best gun on any of the tier 9 heavy tanks. So on this map I like to push up to what we call suicide corner, just a little bit before, so we can put some rounds in. So as you can see, you only get 35 rounds of ammunition in this tank. Yep, that's right, 35 rounds of ammunition. So it's not that much at all really. It's about 10 to 11,000 damage if you penetrate all your shots, which it's not bad, but it could be a lot better really. So we're just going to push around, put pressure on this Super Sherman. First shot goes in, we're not ever going to bounce off him. You you can see, the reload of this gun is just absolutely insane. But we've got 2 damaging ribbons already and a kill this early in the game. So now we're just going to push up a little bit with this black IS-6 and the Glory IS-5. You see an IS-3, 2 IS-3s, sorry. We managed to snap one into his lower plate, but we do take one in return. That is me not using the tank's armour effectively and giving away my pathetically weak side armour. So we put another one into the other IS-3. But yeah, as I said, I absolutely love this tank. I think it looks great, I think it performs great. Just in every way, I just absolutely adore it. I do think this one will be a keeper. I definitely want to get both the tier 10 heavy tanks anyway, so I'll be happy to play through this one quite a lot. So anyway, we're just going to push up a little bit. Managed to snapshot into the IS-3 there. As I said, the great aiming time coming into use there. We do take a shot from the Tiger 2, but the rate of fire on this tank is insane, so we can just put one straight back in. 8 penetrations already and 3 kills. As you can see, we've just completely dominated this flank now. So as you can see now, I've only got 13 AP rounds left. I don't honestly know why I carry so many APCR rounds. You don't really need them in this tank. Again, like the accuracy and stuff like that and the aiming time's fantastic, so you don't really have to worry about missing your shots at long range or anything. So we ricochet a shot there. Managed to ricochet one off the Yoho there, poor aiming from me. Managed to hit one of the angled side of one of his little boobs on the front. There's the accuracy there, snap one into the side of the Type 59. You see the AMX 5100 over there as well. Just like that. Another one into the Yoho. We do take a shot from both the Yoho and the Type 59 there. So we're just going to push up and just try and put pressure on this Yoho. Another one in. He does manage to penetrate us again. This is just a bit of a poor play from me. We're going to slap one more into the Ho-Ho and we take him out. So 12 penetrations and 4 kills already, and there is still quite a lot of damage to be done. See, we can see the Carnarvon over there, so he snapped one into his back. I'm just going to try and push over and help out our allied tank. I can't really see him at the moment, so I push over a little bit to the left. The aiming time coming into use here, straight through as well. The shell velocity on this gun as well, I forgot to mention, is quite nice. I think it's 1067 meters a second shell velocity, so it is quite nice, and obviously with APCR as well, it does increase that. So as you can see, 14 penetrations and 4 kills. That was a silly shot from me. I was never going to penetrate that, I knew that as well. But I don't really know why I took that shot, to be honest. So now I'm on very, very low health. I can take a shot from the 59, but I can't take a shot from the M51 Super Sherman, or the M4A1 Revelarice, sorry. He gets taken out. So I think this IS-5 is going to push up to get him. But he only tracks him. So this is a bit naughty, but I tried taking the kill, but the KV-4 manages to take it from us as well. So there's 3 enemy tanks left, 15 damages so far, 4 kills. You can see the AMX 5100. This is a bit risky. We don't want to fall off the side of the cliff and hurt ourselves. So you can see Sergeant since the IS-5 ricocheted that one. You see the reload of this gun here is great, and the accuracy at this range. Speaking of accuracy, we've ricocheted one and damaged his track once as well, so and Jesus wasn't on my side for that one. We did manage to put another shot into the AMX 5100, sorry. It looks like that IS-5 is going to come out again. I decided to push down this hill very, very, very slowly. So You can see now the mobility of the tank. It's not bad at all, really. It does do 34 and it will keep 34 on all terrain, really. Obviously soft terrain's a bit of a tricky one, but you will normally be able to keep that speed going wherever you're going, whatever terrain you're on, like uphill and stuff like that. You'll see it now. It really isn't too slow. It can keep up with obviously all the other tier 9 heavy tanks. There's not many that are faster apart from the AMX 5120. So as you can see now, all of our AP rounds have been used. We have 16 penetrations, so now we have 10 APCR rounds left and 3 high explosive rounds. And this is something I really do feel like, I think this really does let down the Conqueror, and the FV215B especially. It's just the low ammo count. It does restrict you on how much damage you can do, and if you do start missing a few shots and not penetrating like I have done this game, the damage you can get, like the potential damage you can cause in a game, does go down significantly. However, there's not that problem with the Chieftains. It carries a shit ton of ammunition, so we're just coming out to flank behind. Obviously it's not too fast, not great at doing this, but I'm trying to tell our friendly heavy tank to fall back because he's aiming at him and we don't want him to get taken out. He does eat a shot there, and we managed to come up behind. Can we take him out? Straight through the back of the turret, and we take him out. And that's the end of the game. 17 penetrations and 5 kills. So in that game we managed to make 60,000 silver and we did 6,214 damage and blocked around 900. So that was obviously our first game of the replay. It is quite a nice game for the Conqueror there, but what we'll do is I'll come back again for our second replay. Hello guys, so we are back for our second replay of the review. The map is Rutenberg. It is a tier 10 game this time, albeit there is not that many tier 10s. Yes, the map is Rutenberg, the war variant. It's a standard battle. The enemy does have some quite dangerous tanks. At this point, we had the sorry, can't speak. We had the tank rewards that we could earn for the console edition, which included earning the Chieftain T95, the M4 Revelarice, the Cromwell Berlin, the AC4 Experimental and stuff like that. So I did get done earning the Chieftain and the Cromwell. I didn't need the Revelarice because I have the Super Sherman, which they're pretty much identical. I'll be doing a review of that fairly soon. But I've literally just been using the leftover points I have for my for like XP boosts and stuff like that, just so I can get the Chieftain a bit faster. So this map, I think this crucial part is like owning this middle of the map really. But at first I did push up really far. I didn't expect any big tanks to be round here, so we just see a T10, so we're like, yeah, we'll push round. Put one into him, and then the 100 comes round. Ricochet one off our upper plate from him. And honestly, I don't have a clue what he was doing. Not a clue at all. Obviously didn't have a clue what he was doing really. So as you can see, this E100 is just it's just easy damage for us really. We're not going to bounce off the back of his tank, and we're just going to unload into him, and he's just suicided really. He's not going to make it out of here. But we managed to get the kill. 5 penetrations already this early into the game and a kill. There's the other E100. I'm going to push up and just try and put pressure on the T10s. So we pop round. Derp a shot there into the ground. He comes round, puts one into our lower plate. We come round, track him. Perfect damage roll there. Just try and look behind, see if that E100 is going to come round. The other T10 is aiming for a shot there. Put one into the Carnarvon though. He managed to put one into us as well. Damage his ammo rack. 7 penetrations already. And as you can see now, it's just the enemy, the T10 over here as well at the moment. Managed to put another one through his upper plate. As you know, the T10's upper plate isn't very strong at all, so with a gun like this, you'll just be able to butt straight through it. Second shot. Luckily, the other T10 pulls in front of him and saves his buddy's life. But in a position like this where you can kind of hide most of your tank, it's just the turret and your upper plate showing. This tank is very, very strong indeed. And this is just showing what this tank can be like in city environments and stuff like that. It is absolutely fantastic. Heavy tanks, I think, do perform the best in city maps. So as you can see, 10 penetrations already this early in the game. We're still putting a crazy amount of pressure on these T10s. Take one of them out, and there's just one T10 left now. They have taken off a bit of our health though, but it's pretty much been just me over here fighting off these guys.
Looks like that one went straight through.
Gonna take him out in a second. Just got to pull back a little bit. He managed to, that's the cupola for you. He managed to put a shot through our cupola there, killing our commander. But we do obviously heal him up. He misses our cupola that time, and we managed to take him out for our 14th penetration and 3rd kill of the game. So now this E100 driver does actually know what he's doing. He is side-scoping, angling very nicely. He puts a shot into us, leaves us on a very, very little health. Obviously, I do not want to use my premium rounds at the moment. Managed to take up the STI though. That's just the E100 we need to get rid of. So as you can see here, guys, this is how you angle an E100. Obviously, it is a very, very strong tank. Waiting for him to fire. We come out looking for a shot to his lower plate. We ricochet. At this point, I was just a bit like, do you know what? I don't really care. Let's load some skill rounds. So just load some skill rounds because he is angling very, very well, and he is covering his lower plate, so it's going to be very, very, very hard for us to penetrate him. So we just load the premium rounds, the APCR, with 320 something penetration, between 320 and 330 penetration. So we're just going to keep using them just to go straight through the front of his turret. So as you can see here, 17 penetrations now with 4 kills. Doing a load of damage to C100 here. We're going to take him out, and we managed to take him out. So 18 penetrations and 5 kills. We load back our armor piercing rounds. Normally, I do not really like using premium rounds unless like I really need to. One, that situation, I saw that I was having a good game, and I was like, I just want to make it even better really, so I thought I'd just load some premium rounds and just be able to finish them off and get the job done a bit easier. So now we're going to come up behind these tanks here, the STB1, the M103. So we come round, trying to get a shot of the M103. Managed to take him out, only 55 damage done though. For our 6th kill of the game, so that is our top gun secured. So pushing up, the STB1 gets taken out. Just 2 tanks left, the M46 pattern and the LTTB. Snap one into the pattern there. 20 penetrations now. See the reload and rate of fire of this gun here, it's just absolutely insane. I'm also pushing out of an E5. Managed to take him out. 7 kills, that's our Devastator medal in the bag as well. So you push up for the LTTB. As you can see, again, we've run out of AP rounds. So we are on APCR. Didn't want to block the T125 there. Accidentally blocked 2 people's shots there. But the game is now over. 7 kills, 22 penetrations. An absolutely fantastic game in the Conqueror. So, as you can see, we made 117,000 silver, 7,151 damage done, and 750 damage blocked. So I hope this replay guide shows you how well the Conqueror can perform in city maps. Please like, comment and subscribe. Please comment down below for which tank you'd like to see next. Thanks, it's been Error, and I'm out.